Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm Jack and today we'll be reacting to more Parz. The link to his channel will be down below in the description. Also, if you guys like me to react to more content like this or have any more suggestions to any more content creators you guys would like me to react, please let me down in the comments. Thank you and please enjoy!
This bear was actually a soldier. But how? You see, it was 1942 and the 22nd Polish Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad lore, said, "Damn good deal." And in the most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek. And the 22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier. Maggots! As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would f***ing wrestle with them.
Nah, wrestle with a bear, nah.
Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you? On top of...
Wait, did the bear also get drunk? Imagine he also got drunk. Like freaking smoke cigarettes and get drunk.
Double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes.
I knew it. Cigarettes and beer, of course.
The bear have smoko. Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely f***ing none of it. You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which meant Wojtek had to go. Or did he? Because the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted the rank of private, so when confronted about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek."
Yeah, Private Wojtek.
Wojtek took his new role very seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. They had...
Nah, that's crazy. My guy actually took his job seriously. Nah.
Had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery, he was promoted to the rank of corporal, and the 22nd changed their insignia to a bear carrying an artillery shell. This absolute unit smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis.
That's gonna be some insane lore. Dude, imagine being a World War II veteran and an interviewer asks you, "So, who was your greatest friend? Your greatest partner in the trenches against the Nazis?" "A bear." "A what?" "A bear."
Based. This bear was... Crocodiles are just dinosaurs that forgot to go extinct. I am dead serious, and I cannot think of a croc species to better make my point than the saltwater crocodile, a species native to the land down under, and shocking absolutely no one, yes, it can and will eat you. Yes.
I mean, makes sense. So, in Mexico, in a few parts of Mexico, like, it's not uncommon for people to die from crocodile attacks because they're usually, like, aggressive, of course, towards anything that gets near them. I mean, they're just hungry boys. But if you, like, get near the water, near a lake, river, of course, depending on which part of Mexico you're in, because it's not everywhere. But, so, if you get anywhere near, they're just gonna grab you, and they're just gonna, like, spin. Like, they're gonna spin and just drag you down. Like, freaking, if they like grab onto your leg, arm, even your head or torso or anything. They're just gonna grab you and just start spinning until like the part of you like breaks off, or they can just drag you a lot easier, like your whole body down to the river or lake.
See, keeping on theme with the whole forgetting to go extinct thing, the Salties stat spread just feels like something that should have been patched out with the rest of Jurassic Park, starting with their ridiculous size.
Yeah!
You see, Salties are the largest reptile on the planet, coming in at a total of 6 fucking meters long with a maximum weight of 1,100 kilos, which makes this murder lizard genuinely longer than my fucking car. And
that is a dinosaur that forgot to go extinct.
that part is that despite being longer than my ute, they are for some reason absolute masters of stealth. You see, crocs are ambush predators, which is a scientific way of saying they are dirty fucking campers. You see, they've got 2 raised eyes that sit on the top of their heads, which means they can submerge their Ford Falcon-sized frame basically entirely under the water without sacrificing the ability to spot whatever they are looking to turn into a Happy Meal. And from your perspective as the Happy Meal, they are really difficult to see, which makes it very easy to walk just a little too close and, get bitten in half by that hydraulic press that they call a mouth.
That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
That's right, just like any good camper, these scaly arseholes are packing a one-shot in the form of one of the highest bite forces of any animal on the fucking planet, having been recorded at putting out a maximum of 3,700 psi of force through their jaws. Yeah. To put that into context, your skull will crack at 1,100 psi, so a croc would pop your head like a watermelon. And if you don't immediately get folded by the first bite, those jaws will latch onto you as the croc begins a death roll, spinning its ton of body weight like a washing machine until...
that's what many crocs... I don't know if all, species of crocodiles do that. Like, I've heard of, like, crocodiles doing that. Like, as soon as they grab onto you, they just start, like, freaking spinning around until, like, your arm, your leg, or whatever chunk of meat they grab just, like, breaks off, or they just drag your whole body down.
Till whatever part of you it has decided to eat snaps off and is added to its protein goals.
Of course.
But the best thing about the crocodile is their build is so fucking good. They have genuinely been around with very little evolutionary change for 65 million years.
Whoa.
Which means I grew up watching Steve Irwin wrestle dinosaurs for fun.
No.
Rest in peace, you absolute fucking legend. Crocodile...
Oh yeah, he died because of a crocodile attack, yeah. Wait, did he try and wrestle the crocodile? Because if it is, I mean, kind of expected he would die eventually because of that.
Koalas are really dumb. In fact, Australia's fuzzy icon is probably the dumbest thing on the planet. And that stupidity starts with their diet, because of all the things they could have chosen to eat, they chose to eat nothing but straight up poison.
What?
You see, koalas feed exclusively on eucalyptus leaves, which, shocking no one, are highly toxic, because they are full to the brim with eucalypt oil, which is so fucking poisonous.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that eucalyptus flowers were toxic, but I mean, if koalas eat that, they should have their digestive system should be like strong enough to like consume to digest that. I mean, it doesn't mean they're dumb. Maybe they're just like built different for that. I don't think they might be dumber. I don't know.
That as little as 3.75 mil is enough to land you in the afterlife, with the Reaper asking you why the fuck you felt the need to eat a leaf.
Why?
Oh, it's also highly flammable and burns like napalm. Because Australia. Now, despite nature putting up this giant do not eat sign, that did not stop the koala, because he can't fucking read. This suboptimal bulking diet not only gives the koala fuck all in the way of nutrition, but also requires their body to rest to filter out the toxins so they don't fucking cark it. Meaning they need to spend upwards of 18 hours a day sleeping in order to just digest their fucking food. These dumbasses spend most of their life in a food coma. That is, however, if they even get to the food to begin with, because they are so mind-numbingly brain-dead that they will not recognize a eucalyptus leaf as food unless it is on the branch. I could give this dumbass a lifetime supply of food, and if it wasn't on a stick, he would starve to death.
Bruh, no, you can't be that dumb. How are they even alive? Like, dude, why haven't they gone extinct? They're like, if you're that dumb, how's your species still alive, dude? Listen, I've heard of, like, animals that are dumb. I've heard of people that are dumb, but I mean, dude, there's a limit. Come on.
It should come as no surprise to you at this point that the koala has such an esky temperature IQ that they literally have a smooth brain.
No.
The thoughts slide right off of this dumb c***. I love him. Koalas are really dumb. Australia has just found zombified bugs. That's right, we are closer to the Walking Dead Down Under than you think. You see, just recently, a scientist by the name of Dr. Francois Broussard made a trek out to the remote savannah of the Northern Territory with the goal of finding and cataloguing brand new species of insect unknown to science. I mean, me personally, I think we've found more than enough bugs, especially considering that half of them can send me directly into the f***ing soil. But what do I know, right? Anyway, on his trip to the middle of f***ing nowhere, he stumbled across a colony of spiny savanna ants, which is a pretty normal thing to find out there. However, getting closer, he noticed something a little off. You see, the main ant colony was fine, completely normal. However, the several disfigured and deformed ant corpses clamped onto shoots of grass surrounding the colony like a Bug's Life version of Vlad the Inhaler. Yeah, those were significantly less normal. Broussard, mildly unsettled by the ant gore on his timeline, took samples for inspection and upon getting a closer look, realised something both really cool and really spooky. The ants had been overtaken by fungus.
Big old red ones.
More accurately, a previously unknown strain of the cordyceps fungus, infamous around the globe for its ability to create zombie bugs. And the way it does it is unbelievably horrific. You see, it begins with a spore landing on an ant and producing a thin rope-like strand that penetrates and attaches to their exoskeleton. At which point, the ant gets a little timer on his hotbar, counting down to a family reunion with his ancestors. Once inside, the fungus begins to take control of the ant's body and brain function, completely changing their behavior, replacing their colony-focused mindset with one single goal: climb. Its fungus-riddled mind drags its rapidly deteriorating body to the closest high point, which is usually a plant, with its final act being to clamp its mandibles onto the stem in a death grip, finally succumbing to the infection and being completely consumed, its corpse blossoming into a fully grown cordyceps fungus and raining down spores onto the rest of the colony to continue the cycle of infection. Now look, I know this fungus is found elsewhere in the world, but it's a new strain and it was found in Australia. With my luck, I'm going to be playing The Last of Us against couch-sized spiders within the fucking week. Australia...
Wait, so... Imagine they find, like, another, like, version of the cordyceps fungus, like another strand, and that one actually affects humans. Dude, we would be playing The Last of Us. Like, well, what's, like, game... What does the game say, like, the... Like, where does the game The Last of Us say where it was, like, the first case of, like, the fungus? Where did it show up?
This wasp is basically a xenomorph. Introducing the tarantula hawk wasp, possibly one of the most nightmare-inducing insects on the planet. And the reason it's such a threat to your mental health is because its hunting and reproduction strategy is ripped straight from Ellen Ripley's autobiography. But before we get to the strats, you're gonna have to learn a little bit about it first. Native to Australia, because of course it fucking is, this fucker is the largest wasp on the planet, coming in at a massive 2.5 inches. Which, I mean, boys, we would all agree, well above average, right?
Yeah, well
Huge.
above average,
And this is probably the most effective 2 inches has ever been because it has the second most painful sting of any insect on the planet, coming in just barely behind the bullet ant. Pack and a half-inch stinger with a potent venom that has been described as blinding, debilitating,
I can't move my arm!
and electric. Now, the size and poison aren't just for nothing, because as the name tarantula hawk wasp suggests, they are purpose-built, genetically perfect killing machines designed specifically to violate spiders, making Australia basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for them. But they don't just execute the spiders. No, that'd be too normal. Hawk wasps use spiders to reproduce in one of the most horrific ways possible.
What do they do with the poor spiders? Hold on. What you guys doing with the spiders?
And that all starts with a female hawk wasp hunting down a tarantula. As the buff bulking spider takes a wrong turn down a dark alley, the hawk wasp, noticing the 8 sets of TNs on his feet, proceeds to fucking jump him.
Damn.
Flying down from above to land a sting into the spider's abdomen, instantly and permanently paralysing it. The Bug Harbour Butcher then proceeds to drag the still completely conscious and aware spider into an isolated kill room, which is where the fucked up part really begins. Because our wasp isn't hungry, it's pregnant, and proceeds to lay its egg on the paralysed spider's abdomen. After about 3 to 4 days, that egg hatches into a larvae. A very, very hungry larvae. Fortunately, there's a whole bunch of fresh food right here underneath them. That food being the still paralysed, still very conscious and aware spider. The larvae burrows into the spider's abdomen and gets to work converting it into a KFC family bucket, consuming it from the inside out, purposely avoiding vital organs to keep the food nice and fresh. After it's done consuming a living being, the larvae breaks forth from the demolished corpse like a fucking chestburster and fucks off to continue the generational arachnid violation. Anywho, good luck getting any sleep tonight.
Bro, that's so messed up. And so cool at the same time. Yo. It's cool and messed up at the same time.
Who wins? 100 men or 1 gorilla? Well, to get your answer, we're going to have to look at our fighters for the most anticipated cage match of 2025. And in the red corner, standing at an impressive 6 feet tall and weighing a ridiculous 220 kilos, we have one singular silverback gorilla. Stepping into the ring to settle the score against humanity for what we...
I remember when this was like a really big trending question all over the internet. Like, freaking, it was being talked about it in the news. A bunch of medias.
We did to Harambe, this fighter is bringing some impressive physical strength, capable of lifting up to 800 kilos of weight.
Damn.
Meaning that if it gets its hands on you, a gorilla is more than capable of picking you up and doing you the same way that Hulk did Loki. Now, on top of being stronger than Eddie Hall, they also have an unreal reach advantage with a 2.6 meter wingspan, which is a fairly major problem because a right hook from a gorilla produces 2,700 pounds of force. To put that into perspective, the human skull shatters at 1,400. So if Winston hits you with a haymaker, your head is gonna pop like a watermelon. And with the cage fight following the Mortal Kombat rule set, we can also factor in the gorilla's bite, because despite being a pretty gentle herbivore in the wild, they have one of the highest bite forces on the planet at 1,300 PSI. That is 100 PSI more than a polar bear. And now, with our fighter statistics out of the way, let's get down to business. Can our gorilla win a fight against the 100 average men in the blue corner? Place your bets. Let's see who comes out on top. Yeah, look, I'm going to keep it real with you. Even with those stats, Winston here is getting bodied. I'm sorry, he's going back to the spawn room. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 directly to hanging out with Harambe in heaven. 100
Damn.
people. It's just too fucking many. He's getting jumped. However, not to say he's not going to take a few with him. My guess is one guy runs up and gets swatted across the cage like a toddler, shatters his ribs against the bars. Second guy gets grabbed by the leg and given the Hulk treatment. About 6 other guys cop swings to the head and die instantly from broken necks. One dumbass is probably going to try to hit him off the top rope and get done the same way that Omni-Man did Nightwing. But at that point, the crowd probably jumps in and realizes that there are still about 90 of them and it's over. Not that the fight even needs to happen, but it wouldn't be the first time we lost a gorilla to human stupidity.
Hi everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this video and had a laugh. If you guys like me reacting to this content, or if you like me to react to anything else, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you for your time and have a nice day. Peace.